Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Roman Regelman, who's the Senior Executive Vice President and CEO of Asset Servicing and Head of Digital at BNY Mellon, to discuss Web 3.0 market infrastructure and ecosystem transformation. Roman, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Yeah, no, good to talk to you.
From your perspective, how big is Web 3.0 for financial services and why?
So let's define Web 3.0. It's in essence the new ecosystem. It's a network of companies, countries, technologies. In many ways, it's something that puts a user in a center. Often people talk about B2B and B2C. I would say Web 3.0, it's actually C to B. So customer is in the center. And what that means for financial services, it's an importance of trust that we always talk about, but it's an equal importance of innovation. I always talk in BNY Mellon, we work on intersection of trust and innovation. But it's not only trust that you are taken care of, your assets are protected, your data is secure. It's also the trust that we will future-proof your business as a client, and frankly, be there for you and be this bridge between the traditional world to new, much more multifaceted digital and analog world all at once. And I think when we talk about digital currencies, when we talk about digital assets broader, when we talk about navigation of the ecosystem of startups and different technologies, ultimately, that's all about this intersection of trust and innovation. And I think for us, I'm just proud of being in this bank. If you think about our founder, Alexander Hamilton, I mean, he was the original innovator in financial services. I mean, think he started a whole financial services system in this country. And yet he built an institution that is absolutely known for trust.
Yep, he does have a very interesting history. Roman, how will technology and innovation shape this next generation of financial services and enable the financial ecosystem to thrive?
Yeah. So I think that technology is many things. Technology is stability. Technology is resiliency. Technology is flexibility. Technology is fundamentally the infrastructure of the whole system. But also technology is a client experience. Technology is the ability to create financial instruments that did not exist today. And I think when we talk about technology, often we hear one track or another, right? Either somebody says how it makes existing things better, or it talks about the new innovation and new use cases. I firmly believe it's both, and it's not a trade-off of the two. It's absolutely two at the same time. And the reason I say that, because when you come from the standpoint of a bank or standpoint of existing technology company, you usually talk about scale, you talk about reach, you talk about kind of multiple geographies and multiple use cases. And when you're fintech, you talk about solving a particular case, particular problem. And ultimately, it's really both, because the clients, they need all these problems to be solved, but they need to solve on this very reliable platform. So I'm sort of very proud that we are doing both. We made 36 fintech investments in the last couple of years. A couple of them have reached unicorn status. But even more importantly, we're seen as one of the companies that's driving innovation. We actually got an award this year from Fast Company as a best workplace for innovators in 2021. Think about Bank of New York Mellon, Alexander Hamilton's bank, being one of the most innovative banks. So that's where the technology really, driving progress. And with that in mind, that's when we launched our digital assets unit, because we believe the digital assets, whatever they may be, are becoming the part of mainstream. So the capabilities that digital assets allow users and capabilities that digital assets provide to institutional clients, frankly, are defining this new world. Connecting to your previous question about Web 3.0, and that's where the trust is critical and innovation is paramount.
Right. That is remarkable, all the way from Alexander Hamilton to the most innovative banks. That was interesting to hear. Congratulations on that. With Web 3.0 transforming the global financial ecosystem, what are the key building blocks that need to be in place to enable mainstreaming of digital assets?
I mean, I would talk about three. I mean, first of all, is the infrastructure. Can the infrastructure for digital assets be sound, secure, in many ways foolproof, and really enter the mainstream? The second is, like in anything new, the adoption of the standards becomes critical. I mean, your iPhone is an amazing device, but if it doesn't connect to any other phone, then it's just a tool, right? It doesn't provide networking. So industry standards are critical. I mean, needless to say, the regulation needs to evolve, and in many ways needs to synchronize around the world. And there are multiple stakeholders around that. But if I look at all these things, we're really reshaping the financial ecosystem with digital assets. As digital assets become part of the mainstream, we need to provide asset servicing the same way we provide asset servicing for all assets. We need to provide the market infrastructure the same way we provide market infrastructure for all assets. And that's where we need to go for the needs of customers. And that's what I mentioned around this C2B world, where the consumer with digital assets now gets a lot more choice. I mean, imagine you like real estate, but the way you think of real estate, you want to invest in a second tallest building in a 20 financial services capital in the world, and you want to invest in an apartment of a certain size. Today, it's a very difficult thing to do because there is no instrument for that. But digital assets allow you to put things together, break things apart, create tokens, create synthetic securities, and that's where innovation really underwrites Web 3.0.
Right, and it's evident that there is institutional demand for global infrastructure to provide stability and safety. How are you grappling with this fundamentally disruptive idea, and how do you see your role with digital assets?
I think it's a disruptive idea, but in many ways, it's not disruptive. Because innovation always happens. Whenever people talk about a new product, whenever people talk about new technology, it's disruptive in its own right, but it's a part of continuum in the longer term. And that's the culture that we create. That's a culture that we create where we build on this foundation of trust and embrace new technology, embrace new kind of thinking. Yes, I think many institutions little bit wanted to adopt a wait and see approach. Okay, let's see what these digital assets are about. We said from the onset, they're becoming part of mainstream, and therefore we need to build very resilient ecosystem around that. And as you see, many institutions are adopting, similar stances right now. Whenever people think about any particular digital asset, they can talk about certain cryptocurrency, they can talk about whether stable coins are all that stable, whether the tokenized real estate or tokenized money market funds are important. We can debate it all, but collectively, there is institutional demand for digital assets. And to the extent there is institutional demand, we're going to be there for them. We're going to be there with our asset servicing business. We're going to be there, with our bond issuers business, and obviously we'll be there with the market infrastructure.
All right, and Roman, we have a minute to go here. So, and I want to ask you about your high-profile investments before I let you go. What does the future look like in terms of your partnership strategy with these higher-profile investments?
Yeah, I believe these investments really allows us to be the most innovative company. Because if somebody is in a fintech, is inventing something, we can incorporate it in our ecosystem and serve our clients end to end. Of course, any large company can build the technology, but somebody already done that. So bring that into reliable, trustworthy platform and provide these services to clients. So we made 36 investments. A couple of them reached unicorn status. They are a part and parcel of our operating system. They are part and parcel of what we provide to our clients and their experience, digital client experience that we provide. At the same time, we accelerate our own platform. We give opportunities to many entrepreneurs. We become a channel for them. And frankly, we unlock the value where 1 + 1 really equals 3. So they are critical for us.
All right, Roman, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Yeah, great to see you, Jill.